What up, motherfuckers? Welcome back to the channel. This is Jay Tells Stories, and I'm fucking Jay. Today we're going to be talking about my opinion on AA, NA, and all that fucking bullshit. Obviously, clearly, I don't have a very high opinion. So, any program that tells you that you can't change and you're stuck being some kind of hopeless piece of shit for the rest of your life, in my opinion, is not a good program. And that is really what they preach in these programs like AA, NA, whatever. One of the first things they tell you when you go to a group meeting is that you must, step one, accept that you are helpless. Now let's just think about this for a second. What does that mean? What does it mean to accept that you're helpless? It means you can't help yourself, right? Why the fuck would you ever want to admit that you are unable to help yourself? It's a choice, man. You're choosing not to help yourself. Maybe it's uncomfortable, right? Maybe you don't want to do it. It's going to hurt. It's not going to feel good. But come on, you're going to try and tell me that like it's because of God that you're unable to quit drugs? Give me a goddamn break, dude. The whole thing is crazy. Another thing about AA, NA, and all this other garbage, you just create addicts in a different way, man. These people get addicted to going to the meetings, drinking their coffee, and basically talking about how miserable their lives are. Changing nothing, right? They're not actually changing anything to make their life any better. They're not, working towards any kind of goal. All they do is they sit around, drink coffee, and talk about, how they used to get really high. Sick. Is that therapeutic? Probably not. I would have to say probably not. If anything, it glorifies the drug use, right? You get these fucking clowns that come in, they're like, oh man, I used to do this much drugs and I used to do, like they think it makes them cool or something. Like, dude, it doesn't make you cool. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, but being a fucking filthy drug addict is not something to be proud of. Maybe keep that one to yourself, They say too, oh yeah, being around a community of people that are like-minded. Well, guess what? I'm an addict, I struggled with addiction, and I can tell you straight up, I got nothing in common with those motherfuckers that go to AA. Maybe besides the fact that we each tried drugs, or used drugs or had a hard time with drugs at one point or another. But you know what the difference is? I don't think about that shit every day, okay? It's not a defining characteristic of who I am, right? I got clean and I moved forward. That's what you're supposed to do, man. You're not supposed to fucking wallow in the misery of what once was addiction, dude. You're gonna move on. Seriously, it really is just crazy. It doesn't make any sense to me. And people continue to perpetuate this. Like, oh, if you want to get clean, there's really only one way, man. You gotta do the program. You gotta do the program. The steps. Man, shut the fuck up with those goddamn steps. You know what you need to do if you want to be clean? Quit doing drugs. It's that simple, man. Look, if you need to talk to someone, do psychotherapy, something like that, sure, man, you got my approval. Even if you want to use MAT, right? You want to use Suboxone or whatever, dude, great, no problem. You start following those stupid fucking steps, you're an idiot. You're going to relapse. I honestly, I know very few people that actually stay clean from entering the program. I would honestly say one of the biggest predictors of somebody relapsing is how into AA they are. The more into it they are, the more likely they're going to fuck up, right? Because they haven't changed anything about the way they think, their thinking patterns, etc. They're still obsessed with the drugs. And that's why they go to these meetings every day and continue to talk about the drugs. Man, if you want to change and stop thinking about drugs, you got to stop talking about them. Stop interacting with people who also are just obsessed with fucking drugs. It's really a no-brainer. It's so obvious when you think about it. They sell it as community, right? But, man, do you really want a community full of drug addicts? Probably not, dude. Like, aim higher. Like, try and associate yourself with people that are doing well, that are doing, big things, that are successful, that, they don't even think about drugs, right? Because why on earth would you want to surround yourself with people who, again, can do nothing but think about drugs? Obviously, you're going to end up doing drugs again because it just keeps coming up over and over and over again. And, willpower is not infinite, my guys. and girls, my friends, you cannot rely on willpower because it will give up. You know what you can rely on is habit. You got to create good habits. Okay? And going to AA, going to these stupid meetings and talking about how you used to get high as fuck is not a good habit, right? You want to know some good habits? I'll give you some. Exercise, meditation, eating healthy, tracking your macros, getting into diet, picking up a hobby. I like to fish, you know? There's literally a million things, infinite things that have nothing to do with drugs. You do any of those things, you're going to have a way higher chance of actually staying clean than if you just keep going to these stupid fucking meetings talking about how you're hopeless. Literally, they want you to admit you're hopeless. Seriously, somebody comment and tell me how they think that's fucking beneficial to admit that you're hopeless. Like you're basically, you can't be helped. You know, oh, it's God's fault. I just can't stop shooting heroin because, you know, that just God made me do it. It's so illogical, dude. It's so illogical. And yes, I understand at a point in time, you know, it's the best that they had to offer. And, you know, that's great, man. But it's 2023 just about, okay? We got a lot of other things going on. We got a lot of options. You know, research has been done on this. Staying in this, you know, perpetual thinking cycle of just drugs, using, addiction, it's not going to get you to change. You have to break the thought pattern. You got to break your routine. You got to break your habits. Really, ideally, you got to switch out the old habits for new positive habits. Like for me, it's weightlifting, exercise. Fucking love it. Like I said before too, fishing, hiking, spending time outside. All of these things are like drugs to me now, right? I get the same, more joy, not even same. Forget same. I got no joy from drugs towards the end of it. But really, when I do these activities, you know, hiking, fishing, exercise, whatever, I actually feel good, okay? And not only that, I'm surrounded, I involve myself in a community full of other people who are all doing the same thing as me, right? Trying to improve themselves, exercising, trying to get better, not talking about getting high 3, 4, 5 years ago, okay? Like, it's not important. It doesn't matter. It doesn't help anyone. You know, if anyone out there is listening to this and you do happen to go to these kind of meetings, now you're not going to be able to not hear it. I promise you, when you go, you're just going to, you know, some guy, I don't know, let's say he's probably going to be in his 40s and he's going to be talking like he knows everything and back in his day and blah, 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 and I used to do this much heroin and I'm a fucking badass. And it's like, dude, shut up. That's not helping anyone. It's really not. You know what I want to hear? I want to hear how you stop doing the drugs and what you replace those habits with in order to, you know, be something more constructive. Like, what did you do that actually changed your life? I don't want to hear about how you were a piece of shit before and basically you're just a piece of shit now that goes to AA, right? It doesn't help anyone, man. So AA, NA, honestly, in my opinion, it's a big waste of time. You got to find people that have positive, you know, real aspirations, like they want to succeed in life. They have goals and you want to surround yourself with those people. And if you do that, you're going to be okay, man, because it rubs off, right? Success rubs off. That perseverance, that desire to win, it rubs off, man. It's contagious. It equally as contagious as the bullshit that some you know, when you're around an addict and he's like, oh, I just don't feel good, I'm going to like shoot some dope. That shit's contagious too, man. Cut those people out. Find positive role models. Start going to a gym. Join a powerlifting gym, bodybuilding gym, any of these places where you can find real men doing real work trying to better their lives. That's how you get out of the situation. Not by going to fucking AA, man. Honestly. And I hope I get some comments. You know, I'd love to hear people's perspective on this. Because, I mean, people are very diehard about their AA. You know, oh, you know, I couldn't have done it without AA. It's like, nah, bro, you couldn't have done it without friends is really what you're trying to say. But again, all you did is just talk about your drug use and admit that you're never going to be able to change. How is that beneficial, dude? How is that helpful at all? Right? Isn't the whole purpose that we want to change, become better people, better versions of ourselves? To me, that means not being helpless, not being, totally helpless to drugs and unable to say no. Fuck that. That's weak minded. Get that shit out of your head right now. All right? You're only weak minded if you allow yourself to be. We're all much stronger than we think. Keep your heads up. Keep moving forward. Let's fucking get it, guys and girls.